Hello again, everyone. It's time for Tiger Talk. Stay with us. We're going to talk some 4-day state basketball right after this. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State men's and women's basketball. The Tigers opening up MIAA play. Hard to believe, but they did it this week on the road. Thursday night in Joplin with Missouri Southern, and then Saturday afternoon in Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. We'll talk all about it with women's coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. Program, as always, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hays. We'll take our first break. Head women's coach Tony Hobson will join us when we come back right here on Tiger Talk.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, joined by head women's coach Tony Hobson. Program brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, where you can experience delicious cook-to-order food, rich and creamy frozen custard churned fresh throughout the day. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hays. It's the taste that brings you back. 4-day state women opening up MIAA play. A couple of tough ones on the road at Missouri Southern, at Pittsburgh State, who's ranked 4th in the country, and unfortunately not a good start. Kind of a disappointing start on Thursday. Missouri Southern, a good team, obviously, and they always play tough, and they're hard to beat on their home floor, but I know you weren't happy with this. Your team's focus, I just didn't feel they had the energy for a conference opener against a good team on their home floor.
Well, it certainly wasn't the start we wanted to get off to, and I thought we kind of had a little bit of an air about us that we thought we were going to be able to go in and maybe not play as hard as we needed to win. We thought we could get by with it and maybe overlooking them a little bit and looking forward to the Pitt game. But I think we found out very quickly that Missouri Southern's a very capable team, and they played very well that night, shot the ball well, and we had a hard time finding the basket. And when you go into a game and you're not fully prepared as far as mentally ready to go, and your intensity level is not there, you're going to get beat on the road when you don't shoot the ball well.
And they seem to, every time you tried to make a little push, they seem to answer with a big basket or two. Some people who hadn't hit threes much this year hit big threes. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those games, anything you tried, they seem to have an answer for.
Well, and that's been their downfall. The reason they've lost 2 or 3 of the games they have early in the season is they couldn't, they were 2 for 20 from the 3 or shot a real poor percentage. And, I think they were 8 for 16 and had a couple kids step up and they made more threes against us than they had for the prior 6 games in their season. So, and they weren't just all alone 3-point shots. I mean, we were guarding them, and so they played well, and we didn't quite have our edge that we needed, and got it handed to us, and definitely a game that we would like to replay, but you don't get to do that. And this team's going to have to learn how to bring it every night. And right now, we're not there, obviously, but hopefully we'll learn how to do that.
Well, that was kind of the question mark going in with so many new faces. You have some veterans, but yet you've got some youngsters. And non-conference is great, but when you get to MIAA play, it's a whole different beast, the intensity level, and probably going to be a little bit of this baptism under fire, if you will, for some of them just to figure all of that out.
Well, there will be, but also the people that struggled Thursday were our returners.
Yeah.
I mean, Jill was in foul trouble and had a rough game on Thursday. Nikki was not sharp on Thursday. She turned it over a couple times that are uncharacteristic for her. Shot a very poor percentage. Shot selection wasn't great. So, you know, you can't just say, hey, it's because of your freshman. No, it was because of our returners and the people that we look to kind of carry us did not have good games on Thursday. And we need, you know, we need Nikki and Jill and Taylor and even Emma to have good games on the road to win those games. And if they don't, we're going to struggle.
Came back Saturday, number 4 Pittsburgh State, undefeated going into it, and just a tough challenge. Always difficult down there. It's been a hard place, not just for 4 days, for a lot of teams to win. And got off to a good start. They get a big run there in the first half to take the lead. And, I mean, it's one of those games you had chances, we're hanging around, and then they get that little run there at the end to kind of put it away. But certainly much better effort, but it takes a great effort against a team like that.
Well, exactly, and if we have that effort on Thursday, we win that game at Southern, and that's what's irritating to me. I thought we played pretty decent, really, at Pitt, and we made runs at them. We cut it to 5 at the end of the third quarter. We got closer than that. Had the ball, you know, missed some free throws and missed a bunch of, not a bunch, but I'd say 4 or 5 shots around the basket that you just have to make. But our effort was there and our intensity level, and I just think on the end of those 3-day road trips, I just usually add another 10 points. For us to beat Pitt on their home floor on the end of a 3-day road trip, I think you have to be 15 points better than them. And to be 15 points better than them when they're ranked number 4 would be a tall task. And so I thought we rebounded and played better than we did on Thursday, but it just wasn't good enough. And again, Jill struggled, didn't have one of her best games, and we just have to get her going because we count on her so much, and the other kids do too, because she's such an integral part of what we try to do, and she'll snap out of it.
Didn't shoot it particularly well, and really that's kind of been the theme here to start conference play. 2 poor games, and thought this team going in might be a little bit better in that regard, and I think those things all even out. But right now, unfortunately, you face 2 good teams on the road and you don't shoot it well, makes it a little bit more difficult.
Well, and part of it is who we've been playing. You know, those shots we were taking, you know, we might have had an extra little half second to get them off, and it's more physical, and that's why we probably missed some of them around the basket. You know, there's more contact, and that's how it's going to be in conference. So we just have to get better, and we have to be ready to take shots under pressure a little bit more than we have been. But you know, our shot selection, we need to. We're a little poor at judging when we should take them, when we shouldn't. And by that I mean, I think if somebody makes a couple threes, you know, the next one they take doesn't have to be the greatest shot. But if you miss a couple or 3, the next one you take needs to be a very, very good shot. You know, you need to have all your conditions right and maybe have a little extra time. Otherwise, you need to do something different. Either drive the ball or get it to somebody else. And Saturday, our shot selection was poor by a couple kids. We just took a couple quick threes where we didn't need to, and where we'd been struggling, I thought we should have got a better shot.
Well, the Tigers doesn't get any easier as they return home this week. Washburn and Emporia State due up next, and we'll talk about the matchups right after this.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. It's brought to you by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, where you can get a gift card from Freddy's. Great way to give the taste of great food for the holiday season. Sizzling cook-to-order steak burgers and thin, crispy shoestring fries. Creamy frozen custard churned fresh throughout the day. And right now, if you get a gift card purchase of $25 or more, get a free bottle of Freddy's famous fry sauce or a bottle of Freddy's fry seasoning. It's only at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hayes. The taste that brings you back. 4-day state back at home. That'll feel good. They've been on the road a lot already here in the early portion of the schedule, but certainly no easy task this week. Washburn on Wednesday, #1 ranked Emporia State on Saturday. Always fun when you play the Ichabods and the Hornets, but two really good basketball teams. A tough week again for your squad.
Well, it is, and I'm not sure it's the two we need to play right now to try to kind of get the ship righted a little bit, but we don't have a choice. So we need to really be sharp, I think, to have a chance to win these games. Washburn is the kind of the typical Washburn team. They've got some good size, and they'll play rough. They'll be more of a slow down type, grinded out type team, and that's just how they usually play. So we'll have to play better than we have been to beat Washburn on Wednesday.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and it seemed like they're a type of team. Shot selection even more important because you have less possessions and everyone is seemingly more valuable.
Exactly, and it's more of a half-court game always against Washburn. It's hard to run the ball a lot. Most times it's hard to turn them over. So it's going to be a lot more value placed on each possession and on the ball and minimizing turnovers. And we're just going to have to shore up a few things. And I think I like our chances against Washburn if we play, and it'll be nice to be at home. That's got to, if it was a disadvantage, you'd play them all on the road. So you would think it would be a good thing for us to be at home, and should have good crowds, and hopefully we'll be ready to go.
And Emporia State, #1 team in the country. You've played them highly ranked before. You've had certainly your fair share of success, but obviously they're a really, really good basketball team again this year.
Well, right now they're just playing. They're playing so well. I mean, they're even missing right now one of their key players with an injury, but it didn't seem to matter. They shoot the ball so well, and then they have the best player in the conference on their team, and she plays like it. They always have some place to go at the end of the shot clock, and it's hard to press them because they'll just bring Moten up and have her play point, and she's just a great player, and that's why they always have somebody to rely on when the going gets tough. She can always get a shot, and a good shot for them. So again, I think if we can make it through Wednesday's game and survive that, I look forward to playing Emporia here. It's just always a challenge, and like you said, we've had more luck against them than anybody else in our league the last couple of years. I think actually winning maybe the last 3 out of 5 that we've played them.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do, and they've all been down to the end nail biters. So hopefully we'll have a good game against them Saturday after we beat Washburn on Wednesday.
Should be a fun week. The Hornets and Ichabods all coming to town. It's always a lot of fun. Coach, we appreciate the time. We will see you on Wednesday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's Coach Tony Hobson again, 5:30 on Wednesday with Washburn, and then a 2 o'clock tip Saturday afternoon with top-ranked Emporia State. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson. We'll do that right after this.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock joined now by head men's basketball coach Mark Johnson. Tigers getting off to a split in conference play, losing Thursday at Missouri Southern, bouncing back with a win at Pittsburgh State on Saturday. Again, Tiger Talk brought to you by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, where you can start your day off with a piping hot cup of coffee. Stop by their drive-thru or go inside. A lot of great breakfast items, also food for every meal. It's at Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. They're at 27th and Indian Trail in Hayes. As we mentioned, a split for the Tigers. Fall at Missouri Southern on Thursday. Tough one, 84-81, but then come back to beat Pittsburgh State Saturday, 72-67 in Pittsburgh. And I guess going into it, when you lose that first one, coming back and winning the next game and getting a split is always a good thing. But considering this team and a lot of the youth, a split to start conference play with 2 road games is not a bad way to start it, I guess.
No, I think anytime you go on the MIAA and you play, you have your 2 road game swing that you have, you want to win them both, but anytime you can win one split, I don't feel like you've lost a lot of ground into the league, because it's very hard in our league to go on and win road games. So if you can get one, you got to feel good about it. Missouri Southern, very talented team, really gave us fits with their pressure, too many turnovers. Really thought we made some big shots and played extremely hard, especially in the first half and the final 5 minutes of the game, to even give ourselves a chance. I don't even know if we really, if you look at how we played and the stats, that we should even had an opportunity to make a 3 at the end to tie that game.
Yeah, and you look back at that one, if you could 4 or 5 less turnovers, it's always that way in close games, but that was really the big stat. Over 20 turnovers, they scored a lot of points off that. You could have cut that down even to 18 or 19, probably win that game.
Yeah, I think our goal is between 10 to 12, 13 at the most turnovers going into every game. That's what we're trying to do. We said going into Southern with their style of play and their athleticism, how they pressure you, if we could just get that to 16, if we could somehow have 16 or less, we thought we had a great chance to win the game. And the way it played out, we had 23, 7 less turnovers. I think we were shooting over 50%. You probably score 7, 8 more points and you win the game. So we just got to do a better job taking care of the ball. We're small, we're not overly athletic. That kind of gives us problems. We got to find a way to minimize those the best we can.
Rob, as he's been all year, really big in that game, goes over 20 again and kind of kept you in it, hit some big shots. Unfortunately, couldn't get that last 3-pointer to drop for him.
Yeah, I think he was pretty wore out by the end. He missed that one. He had a great look and then he got the ball back, and I think he wanted to shoot it, but I don't know if he had the legs, so he kind of threw it to Trey at the end there. But great game, and just concerned about wearing him out already. After that game, felt like he had, his knee was bothering him a little bit going into the Pitt game, and Pitt did a great job, but also I think showed a little bit he didn't have quite the physical ability that he had going before that point. So we can't, we're just having to rely on him so much, and I felt like even defensively in the second half he got a little tired, and the Clark kid got a few looks, and we got to have other guys step up and try to find a way to sit Rob a little bit more. I think at the Pitt game we got him down to 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, something like that, and that's really what he needs to play. It's just too many minutes on his body.
You beat Pittsburgh State by 5, got off to a kind of a slow start, but then you came back by middle of the first half, got the lead, and able to maintain it throughout. It was obviously a good comeback win. Pitt has struggled. They've fought some injuries, and kind of one of those games when you look back at the end of the year with their situation now, you had to win and your team responded.
Yeah, I know just being down there and reading some quotes in the paper after the Kearney game, I know they were not happy with their effort and their defense against Kearney the night before. I thought they really came out and played really, really hard. We probably weren't ready to go at the level that our team needs to be, and we got behind. It would have been, again, I thought, we showed a little fight, a little character there. It would have been easy being down, 17-5 to kind of lay down on the road and get ran over, and we found a way to fight right back, get the lead, have the lead at halftime, and then expand on it, and then just kind of hold on at the end.
Kyler had a big game offensively, didn't have a lot of assists, but only the 1 turnover, scored 14 for you to kind of lead the charge.
Yeah, I was happy for him. He needed a bounce back game. That's what we talked about after the game. The first game of the year against Southwest Minnesota, he kind of struggled, turned it over too much, and didn't have a very good game. Really came back, played well against Sioux Falls. Same thing tonight. He didn't play well against Southern. Too many turnovers. Our point guards had too many turnovers, him and Aaron, and he really responded in a great way. And that's what Kyler does. There's a reason he won a lot in high school. He's a winning kid, and he wants to do well. He's prideful in what he does, and it was a great bounce-back game for him.
Brady Worth had a good weekend, maybe his best back-to-back games as a Tiger. Really gave you some quality minutes, hit some key buckets, and got some big rebounds in the Southern game, and then bounced back with a career-high 10 on Saturday.
Yeah, he did. Hopefully he's getting a little more confident, a little more comfortable. Even though he's a sophomore, really, he's a freshman. He didn't play much at all. He played 0 meaningful minutes a year ago, so hopefully he's gaining confidence. The big thing with Brady is just staying aggressive. Even at Pitt, I felt there was a couple times he could have taken it more to the rim. He's just got to be more aggressive, and I think he's starting to get there. He has farther to go, and hopefully just each week he gets a little closer, but I think it was an important weekend for him.
Peyton Stevens giving you some quality minutes, and the stat line may not always show it. In the Southern game, we saw it a lot. Just getting a hand on the ball, tipping it out. Someone else maybe gets it and does something with it, but just a lot of the little things that he's starting to slowly emerge and do.
Well, as you know, he's an undersized 4, but what he can do is kind of put it on the floor and make some things happen. Has the ability to finish at the rim a little bit, rebound. He plays real hard. He's a physical guy at almost 6'4". So yeah, I mean, we need him to come in there and give us a little bit of offense. Right now we need a little bit more offense. We need guys that can get in there and score. Drew Kite does a great job with the defense, the rebounding, being in all those right positions. Peyton kind of trying to figure that part of it out, but we just feel like right now we need a little more offense out there. We struggle to score outside of Robin Hadley at times.
Well, Fort Hays State back at home. That'll be nice this weekend. In fact, this week, couple of games, but some tough ones as rivals Washburn and Emporia State come rolling in. We'll talk about the week ahead when we return right after this.
We are proud to have Secor Technology Solutions as a part of our Eagle Communications family. We are dedicated to providing homes and businesses with cost-effective IT services, support, and products all under one roof, like
network support, computer repair, virus and spyware removal,
data recovery and cloud backup,
email support,
screen repair.
And above all, you can count on technology done right. Call us at 785-628-1330.
Eagle Communications, our community connected.
And welcome back. Our final segment here on Tiger Talk, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery, and Bistro, and of course Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. Well, right now, if you buy a gift card of $25 or more, receive a free bottle of Freddy's famous fry sauce or a bottle of their fry seasoning. So that means if you purchase $50 worth of gift cards, you can get 2 of those great items. Mix or match either way you want. Freddy's Frozen Custard, North Vine and Hayes. It's the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State will be back at home this week. Wednesday, it's Washburn. Saturday, it's Emporia State. And let's start with the Ichabods. It's going to be a tough one. Undefeated. I think a lot of folks maybe had a chance to watch them when they played KU and K-State in exhibition play. Really good basketball team. In some ways, still a young team, but a team that probably is going to give Northwest Missouri State a little run for the conference title.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the preseason and what's happened, I would say them and Northwest are kind of the cream of the MIAA this year. Extremely athletic. They got a big guy inside. I think already as a junior, this is part of the very beginning of his junior year, is already the school record in block. Shot blocks. I think he averages 12 rebounds a game. He was the defensive player of the year. And then their backcourt, just extremely athletic. They probably have the fastest, quickest point guard that not only this year, but probably any other year I can remember. He's about as quick as they come, and then they got some shooters. So it'll be a challenging game. Division II is kind of different. It's hard at times if you didn't have the tremendous year to get in the rankings. I think they'll probably be ranked this week. I mean, they're easily a top 20 team. I wouldn't surprise me if they're actually a top 10 team this year with the talent they have. So, I mean, we're going to have to play extremely, extremely well, defend, keep them off the glass, keep them in front of us, and we're going to have to make some shots on the offensive end.
And you mentioned that quickness at times on the perimeter. That has been a problem for you guys. It'll be an interesting test to see if you can respond and combat that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at us, like I said, we're not the quickest team, and you can offset that if you have a lot of 6'4", 6'5" guards, and then we're quick enough. But we don't. We're a little bit short out there too, so that can give us problems. Like I said, Southern gave us a lot of problems doing that. I think Washburn will guard a little more containment style, not quite get out quite as much as Southern does. I do think Washburn, though, offensively has more players and will be more of a challenge to try to slow down and stop. So great test for our guys. Washburn will be excited again. This is kind of with having to reschedule last week. You're playing now a second team. It's their first conference game. And I think anytime you play your first conference game, you get that excitement again like you do the first game of the year. So we're going to have to be ready for that also.
And Saturday, Emporia State, they have struggled, but boy, you look at their team, they've got some good parts, and they've had a lot of games. They've gotten off to slow starts, make great comebacks, just to fall short. You got to be careful not to fall into the trap with their record. Certainly a much better team than that record.
Oh yeah, they were up there in Sioux Falls with us when we played Southwest Minnesota and the University of Sioux Falls the opening weekend, and they definitely have some talent. They have some athletes. I think a couple guys have been out their last game or two. Josh Peterson, who obviously had a great game here a year ago, so that might have slowed him down a little bit. But for us, we have to be ready to play no matter who it is, and I feel like we have the team that, if we play really hard and do what's right, whether it's a really good team or a team that maybe has struggled, we can give ourselves a chance to win. I don't think we're capable of really having a big win over anybody as far as a large margin of points. But at the same time, I think we have enough talent and enough character about our guys that I don't care how good you are, we can also give ourselves an opportunity to win the game. Most of our games, have you seen so far, come down almost to the final possession. And I think that's the way our season's going to go, and we got to find a way to keep winning a lot of close games.
Exciting for the fans, maybe the coach not so much, but it sure should be a fun year to track that. And hey, it's Washburn Emporia. That's always a fun week.
Oh yeah, it's you know, it's our in-state rivals. You know, it's good for us to be always get to play them now. It's exciting. It's a great opportunity. You know, last week it was road games, so like I always say, it's just opportunities to pass people and get some wins. Now you're at home. Those become a lot more important, and so this is a huge week at home. We have to find a way to win these games.
Sounds good. We'll see you on Wednesday night.
All right, thank you, Gerard.
That's head coach Mark Johnson again. Fort Hays State taking on Washburn on Wednesday, 5:30 for the women, around 7:30 for the men, and then Saturday afternoon, Emporia State comes to town, the top-ranked Hornet women, and tip off against Fort Hays State at 2, and the men's game to follow at 4. Of course, you can catch both on Tiger Radio Mix 103. That's going to wrap up the program for today. Brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, BTI, and Horizon Appliance and Electronics. Of course, if you missed any portion of the program, catch it online, HayesPost.com, the video replay on Eagle Cable's channel 14 and 614 on Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Of course, the program brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hayes. For women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.
We get it. You work hard and play hard. Internet should be the last thing slowing you down. Eagle Communications gives you the speed you need so you can play hard and save cash. For a limited time, get 30 meg for $30 or 50 meg for $50 so you can work, play, and save. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.